my priority and the government of India's priority is first of all to tide over this crisis. So we are laser focused on making sure that every startup is able to navigate this storm, and whatever we need to do to make sure that they navigate the storm, we do. So that is my number one priority. I don't want to get into too much future gazing at this stage. I want to certainly make sure that every one of those startups that are impacted by SVB is helped by the government of India to whatever extent we can. And that's a combination of stopping, making the rules and regulations for account opening in the IFC banks easier. And as I think somebody mentioned today, just credit products that are available in the US should be mirrored in terms of what they are availing or they have access to here. So I think, Ashish, we will stay engaged for 100%. We have somebody in the ministry, Jeet, whose task is this. He is a designated CEO, Meti Startup Hub, and he will continue to. He will later on the day put out a website details and so on and so forth for every one of you, so that you have access to me, and you should consider that all of you have direct access to me on a real-time basis. I would love to give you my phone number, but if I give you my phone number, the odds of me not picking it up because the number of phone calls that I get. So we will certainly not go that far, but we will be in absolute engagement. But our priority, and we should be laser focused that we tide over this storm and then look to the future post that.
Yes. Thank you, sir. We've been in touch with Jeet. He's been very helpful. In fact, he's been instrumental in bringing so many startups here today.
Sir, so in the interest of the time, we are running close. Yeah. So we'll request your closing remarks, and we'll get more feedback from these startups in writing as well, and we'll take care of it. So you're closing.
So I'll just first of all thank you all for sharing your suggestions, your experiences during what is obviously a very difficult time and very nobody likes. I've been a startup before. I've been an entrepreneur. I can certainly subscribe to the view that you did not expect a bank to go belly up on you or having to deal with that as a problem when you're dealing with your own creativity and building out products and solutions. So this is certainly not something that was a desirable experience for anybody. But having said that, let us see how we solve this, how we navigate through this. It is clear, my understanding is very akin to what Anki and others have shared, which is that while the government of the US government and the Fed and the FDIC has talked about deposits being made whole, it is not clear if there's a timeline, if there's a transitionary period. But assume as that there is a transition period to accessing all of those deposits being made whole. I am going to put together a suggestion list and give it to the Honorable Finance Minister on your behalf, and then work closely with the Government of India as a whole to try and see if we can make sure that transfer of, and I'm going through the laundry list of what I've taken down, transferring your US dollar deposits into Indian banks or IFSC centered foreign banks can be made and as let's say non-disruptively and easy as possible. So that is certainly one ask. Second is for those who have deposits that are going to be made whole but have no access to it currently. Is there any deposit back credit lines that can be offered by Indian banks or banks in India in US dollars and or Indian rupees? So this is the second point that I've taken out from you. Third is the issue of credit products. And the fourth, as I understand it, for the Indian banks in the US, can we make it easier for all of you to move from SVB or whichever bank to an Indian bank that is already in the US, an SBI or a Bank of Baroda, etc. So I've got down these 4 points, and if there's anything else that you want to add to this, feel free to send an email. Jeet will circulate a link or an email ID where you can send these details to. But I will, as the Minister of State, as a one-time entrepreneur, I'll certainly tell you this. I'll share this one thing with you. that I think today, if you have to rely on a banking system that, in a sense, backstops your operations, uh, I would strongly suggest that you look at the Indian banking system, because certainly, without sounding like I'm pitching for the banking system, this is the most stable, this is the most robust, and my suggestion strongly is that you explore this as being part of your overall operational framework. For whatever reason, and Ashish referred to this, and others refer to this, there has been uh, a whatever a natural incentive to use banks like SVB or foreign domicile banks, and I would certainly think that we must figure out a way of getting you to use the Indian banking system without changing your business model, without changing how you operate in the US, or your payroll in the US, or your expenses in the US. And it is that particular issue we will create a separate framework and create more awareness of this the earliest possible time, uh, in addition to the other 5 points that I mentioned. Again, thank you for your time, patience. It is difficult times for most people. I certainly feel that the mood that I get from, let's say, yesterday compared to 3 days ago is a very different mood. People are at least now convinced that the money is going to be made whole and there's no going to be not losses of deposits, which is certainly a good thing. But the issue of liquidity and the liquidity roadmap is certainly something that still weighs on most of your minds, and that is something that we will certainly sit with the Ministry of Finance and try and address.